And welcome to Joy News Prime with me, Samuel Kojo Brace. It's live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up this hour, we will be taking you to the WAEC because calls have intensified for the perennial financial challenges causing the delay in the release of WAEC result to be addressed, with experts describing the trend as embarrassing. We have details as WAEC releases the provisional results of the 2024 West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, but without the entire result of some 209 candidates. And Airport Workers Union backs its management decision to close down McDan Aviation private jet terminal over an alleged debt of $3 million.
I believe it is because of the indebtedness of McDan to GACL. Efforts have been put in place. Managing Director wrote several letters from the beginning of this year up to date. No payment was being made. I believe out of frustration, she decided to shut the place down.
We have details plus a response from the company which disputes the $3 million figure but admits it owes and is working to resolve the debt dispute. And later, Joy News' Erastus Asaridonko honored with prestigious Order of the Voter Membership Award for his outstanding contributions to the nation through his fearless and dedicated journalism at the 2024 National Honors and Awards Ceremony. Now, tonight, calls have intensified for the persistent financial challenges that caused a delay in the release of results of the West African Secondary School Certificate Examination, WAEC, by the WAEC to be addressed. This is coming on the back of the delay in the release of the results of the 2024 examination period due to debt owed by the government of Ghana. Now, more on that shortly, but first, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has released the provisional results of the 2024 West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, but without the entire results of some 209 candidates in a press release on Monday. The council says it would provide login details to school heads across the country to enable them access the results on the official site. Let's share with you the breakdown now. The West African Senior High School says, if you look at the provisional results, candidates who sat for the exams were some 600 plus, candidates out of the total 460,611 candidates made up of 212,954 males and 247,657 females from 1,003 schools entered for the examination. This figure is 2.66% higher than the 2023 entry figure of 448,674. Now, a total of 4,609, representing 1%, were absent from the examination. The performance of candidates with respect to the core subject is shown in the table below. Let's show you what that has. Now, it breaks that down to say, for English language, those who got grade A, 1 to C6 were made up of 317,701. Grade D7, 39,542. E8, 25,294. And F9, 26,872. If you look at core mathematics, those who attained grade A1 to C6 were made up of 305,132, representing 66.86%. Now, for those who achieved or got grade D7, we had 24,656, representing 5.40%. Those who got E8, 21,397, representing 4.69%. Those who got F9 in core mathematics, 27,816, representing 6.10%. Integrated science, those who got between A1 to C6, 268,072, representing 58.77%. Those who got aggregate D7 or grade D7, 39,640, representing 8.69%. For grade E in integrated science, 29,506, representing 6.47%. And those who got grade F9 in integrated science, 489, representing 7.12%. Social studies, for those who got grade A1 to C6, 326,253, representing 71.53%. Those who got grade D7 in social studies, 41,174, representing 9.03%. Those who got grade E8, 29,362, representing 6.44%. And for grade F9, 43,570, representing 9.55%. Now, if you look at the 4-year performance statistics in core subject from 2021 to 2024, English language in 2021 was 54.08%. It shot up to 60.39% in 2022. And it shot up again to 73.11% in 2023. But it dropped to 69.52% in 2024. For core mathematics in 2021, it was 54.11%. It increased to 61.39% in 2022 and increased again to 62.23% in 2023. It has once again increased to 66.86% in 2024, which means that a lot of our students are getting better in mathematics over the years. Now, for integrated science in 2021, it was 65.70%, and it reduced to 62.45% in 2022. It shot up again to 66.82% in 2023, but it has reduced again to 58.77% in 2024. For social studies, it was 66.03% in 2021. It increased to 71.51% in 2022, shot up again to 76.76% in 2023, but then there's a reduction, to 71.53% in 2024. So this is what the results is showing. But if you go further down in this report, it tells you that they've withheld a number of results for these candidates as a result of malpractices that they got themselves engaged in during the examination. One of them is that they've cancelled subject results of some 4,108 candidates for bringing foreign materials like prepared notes, textbooks, and printed materials into the examination halls. They've also cancelled the entire results of 483 candidates for possession of mobile phones in the examination halls, and withheld subject result of 781 and the entire result of 209 candidates for various subsetted offenses. Yet still, some subject results of candidates from 319 schools have been withheld for alleged collusion. These cases are still under investigation. The withheld results of these candidates may be released or cancelled depending on the outcome of the investigation. So these are the details of the press release released by WAEC on Monday. It says the council expresses its sincerest gratitude to stakeholders, especially the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, the security agencies, heads of schools, supervisors, invigilators, examiners, and all who in diverse ways supported it in the successful conduct of the examination and release of results. But you know that the entire thing delayed because there were some debts that government of Ghana was supposed to clear. Head of Public Affairs of WAEC, John Kapi, says the government still owes them and they need to be paid to avoid the delay as witnessed this year.
So out of the 118 that was owed, we have received so far about 60 million. And so we have an outstanding debt of 58 million to be settled by the government of through the Ministry of Education. We have indicated, they have all these records over there. We've indicated that we would need those, the balance of the money to be able to pay our invigilators and supervisors, to pay our script checkers, and also to work on the printers that we have at our printing press. And of course, to pay also some of the people who supplied examination materials for us to conduct the exam. Now, so far, we have not received any formal assurance from the Ministry of Education as to when these monies will be made available to us. But we'll continue to pursue that because indeed we have to have a situation where we would not have a repeat of what we had this time around, where our technicians held us to ransom. They were not willing to offer any services until we settled our indebtedness. We would want to ensure that at least promptly we pay every single person along the chain so that when we get to the next exercise, we'll have a smooth sailing exercise. Yeah.
So John Kapi was speaking there to my colleague Faustina Safo on the Pulse. Now, WAEC missed the scheduled date for the release of the results due to a significant outstanding debt of 118 million Ghana cedis owed by the council, owed the council by government. Now, the executive director of the Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, is calling for prudent measures to deal with this permanently.
It is important that we address the systemic issues that continues to cause delays in release of funds to WAEC for both WASI and BC fees. The reason why we had this challenge. If you look at in the past 3-4 years since WASI was made free under the free senior school program since 2020, you realize that repeatedly in WAEC's reports to Parliament, the first challenge is always late receipt of examination fee from government. That is always the first challenge that they report to Parliament every year. Last year, by now, in November, when WAEC appeared before Parliament, government was owing WAEC about 122 million Ghana cedis. This year, the situation is not too different. It was about 116 or so until the last 25 was paid last week or so. And so there's a systemic issue, which is cash flow. We need to reset the cash flow mechanism so that we finance WAEC at the point that they need the money to expedite work on WASI, and also such that WAEC is able to have the needed resources they need to invest to reduce examination practices, if not eliminate it at all, after all.
Well, away from education, the Ghana Airport Workers Union has backed the decision of its management to shut down the Magdan Aviation private jet terminal at the Kotoka International Airport. The private lounge has been closed as of this morning due to a debt amounting to $3 million. Speaking exclusively to Joy News, the divisional chairman of the union, Abdul Isak Abamba, said the workers were fully behind the decision of the airport management to shut down the terminal. He also dismissed any claims of witch hunting.
We got to know that the company has been shut down this morning by managing director of the Ghana Airport Company, Madam Yvonne. And we believe it is because of the indebtedness of Magdan to GACL. And efforts have been put in place. Managing director wrote several letters from the beginning of this year up to date. No payment was being made. I believe out of frustration, she decided to shut the place down. And you are asking why we support? Yes, we support. Because we are the workers. And it is our toil. It is our money that he is keeping. In fact, as it stands now, management is even struggling to pay some of the financial obligations that the company has over the general staff. Management is struggling to pay. So why is it that somebody will be owing, not paying, and staff will be suffering? That is why we will support the managing director in this action. I believe you are talking to staff leadership. We did not close the company. It is closed by the managing director, and we are only telling you we are supporting the managing director in this course. So if you want to talk about witch hunting, then maybe you want to say managing director is witch hunting Magdan, but not us. We are staff, we are workers, and we are saying anybody who is owing us will come after the person. The managing director have started with Magdan, and we are supporting her in this regard, and we are saying all other people that are owing will come after them.
So the union there serving notice that the airport management will in the coming days come after vendors who owe the company substantial amounts of money, so they should be on guard.
We've written several letters regarding a place like CIP as to whether they are owing us, who is managing, because as some of at the time that we asked some questions, we were told it is being operated by national security. How national security will be operating business at the airport, we don't know. So that is another area we are looking at, another place we are looking at. And this can only serve as a warning to all other institutions that are owing Ghana Airport Company, that having started from Magdan, we'll come over all of them, we'll come after them, and we'll try to retrieve our money. And I will give you an assurance that trust Ghana Airport Company staff. You have to do with their money and protection of their company. They will do it, and we will do it in the best way possible.
This is still Joe News Prime. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. And the outcome of the Dom Kwabenya parliamentary elections hinges on Abokobi Women's Development Center 2 polling center. As the Electoral Commission nullifies the results, now the EC on Saturday, December 28, announced it will rerun the election for the polling center as results were entered on a wrong sheet instead of the accepted pink sheet. Speaking to some of the expected voters, Collins Frimpong reports that some of the voters are eager to participate in the re-election process.
The Abokobi Women's Development Center 2 polling station has emerged as the decisive factor in determining the next Member of Parliament for the Dome Kwabenya constituency. With a total of 669 registered voters, the center is expected to play a crucial role in deciding who will enter Parliament. It follows the Electoral Commission's decision to annul its results on Saturday, the 28th of December. Speaking to Joy News, some residents of Abokobi shared their readiness in participating in the voting process.
Now, the Dome Kwabenya, for example, we were all witnessed when the results were announced by the returning officer. So we were thinking that if there should be an issue, it would have been resolved by the court. But since they said we should do a rerun, we are all for it.
They say me country MPP for say adeno the best year then SCA abano say maybe 2 about say be cost 10 times the best uncle 10 times iti the omoye no munya adeno papa no welusu onyi tum ya 2 aba ma from 96 abesi ne omunye hwi mai wa.
In that re-election that the EC wants to do, we have a reason why we voted against Michael Quay. Because you see, the mentality that he's using is poor mentality. The reason why I say it's poor mentality is that you can't come and give me something to lure me to vote for you. You understand? I can't question you. Because
why has anyone brought you any item to vote for someone?
Yes, because fridge.
When was that?
That was yesterday night.
Meanwhile, Emmanuel Boatin, who is the Election and Research Officer for the MPP in the Dome Kwabenya constituency, has denied allegations that the party is using items such as refrigerators to influence voters.
What my friend said was false. If he himself is aware, yesterday I was in Abokobi talking to my family members, and we are all helping each other to come out and vote massively for Okwe Jr. We do not raise any alarm of sharing anything, any gift or money to anybody to come and vote. If the person said he has received it, he should prove for we all to see. It's false. If he himself has seen it, he should show whether the TV color is red or black. He should show to us. It's false.
After collation was completed without the Abokobi Women's Development Center 2 polling station, NDC's Eliklim Akrugu gained 50,732 votes, while Michael Quay Jr. of the MPP had 50,567 votes, placing Eliklim ahead of Okwe with a difference of 165.
Well, WAEC Member of Parliament-elect Dr. Godfred Seydou Gisao has stated that his primary focus will be to address the district's deplorable infrastructure. Dr. Gisao, who serves as the deputy ranking member of the Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs Committee in Parliament, highlighted roads and agriculture as key areas of concern. He emphasized that improving these sectors, which form the backbone of the local economy, could significantly transform the lives of the people. He also noted that many of health and education facilities lack the necessary infrastructure, basic equipment, and teaching aids. Dr. Giselle pledged to work diligently to address these challenges and improve the well-being and quality of life for the people in the district.
The deputy ranking member in Parliament in charge of Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs, Dr. Godfred Seydou Gisao, had an overwhelming endorsement from the WAEC electorates, winning over 62% of the votes. He polled 20,402 votes to defeat WAEC District Chief Executive and Parliamentary candidate of the MPP, Dr. Ewura Suleimana Kandie Mama, who polled 11,816. Dr. Godfred Seydou Gisao averred that he went into the election confident due to the sea of development projects that he has brought to the people, coupled with his effective representation of them in Parliament.
My record in the first year as a first-time MP, they saw the duties I discharged, how I represented the WAEC effectively in the Parliament of Ghana, private members' bills that I sponsored, representing the people in other lawmaking facets, and many other contributions, including the kind of developments that I facilitated in the areas of health, supporting health facilities, getting people into educations of higher learning, and so on and so forth, were all evidence that I used in reminding the people for the need to change. Plus, the wider environment of Ghana, what everybody was going through, the hardships, the evidence of corruption by the government, the current government, and so on and so forth, were enough message for the people to vote for change.
He noted that his other luck in the contest was his opposite number and colleague lecturer at the University for Development Studies, Dr. Ewura Kandie Mahama, who many perceived as arrogant and had lost touch with the people.
To be very frank, I don't think he appreciated the position and opportunity he had, because they were very basic things. The very core mandate of the district chief executive and the assembly were things that he didn't even pay attention to. It was difficult. Most of the communities that we went to didn't even know him to start with, how much more his impact coming to them. So I think he took the whole position for granted. Many people described him as arrogant. Many people describe him with very unsavory words that I cannot repeat. And so I think he didn't appreciate that we had a problem in the community, in the district, that we had to approach. Plus, many of the embarrassments that you yourself witnessed when he was held before Public Accounts Committee, my very MP's common fund utilization, I mean, he would take the letters and keep them, and so on and so forth. There were so many evidences that, plus, I don't think he really had a message. If you follow the campaigns, you realize that most of the campaigns that they ran were not about issues.
His focus now is to build the deplorable infrastructure of the WAEC, considered to be one of the poorest in the region.
The schools are bomb. Furniture for pupils to sit on is a big problem. Now, these are pressing things that we will need to address immediately. Healthcare delivery is a huge challenge still, because most of the health facilities don't even have hospital beds. How much more? In fact, there are some of them that don't even have thermometer to test patients' temperatures and so on and so forth. These are very basic but fundamental to the survival of these communities. Plus agriculture. You see the way inputs were distributed in the last regime, in the last few years. So access to input cost has been a problem. And you see that in our manifesto, President Mahama has proposed the Agricultural for Economic Transformation program, where he proposes setting up farmer services centers and so on and so forth. So if you look at these, if we are going to implement them within the first quarter of next year, that's 2025, be rest assured that we'll begin to get the farmers to breathe a sigh of relief. And these rural communities, that's their major occupation. So if you can handle and tackle the issues of education, the issues of health, and the issue of agriculture, that hinges on their livelihood, then we'll begin to make the impact. I'm sure that we can be consistent with these efforts. I'm sure in the next few years we'll begin to record results that are positive for transforming the people's livelihoods.
Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Well, let's take you from there to the Ashanti region, because the Member of Parliament for Asawase constituency, Muntaka Mubarak, has urged the Ashanti regional executives of the NDC to document the various strategies adopted for the 2024 elections. For the first time, the NDC garnered nearly 700,000 votes from the region. The MP believes that sustaining these strategies could secure victory in future elections. Nana Yaojima attended a victory party for the NDC constituencies in the Kumasi metropolis and has come through with this report.
According to the collated results from the Ashanti region, the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, attained over 697,000 votes in the Ashanti region. It goes in history as one of the party's best performances in the region, which is considered a stronghold of the opponent, NPP. In the constituencies within the Greater Kumasi metropolis, the NDC made significant electoral gains. Aswanse MP Muntaka Mubarak believes the strategies adopted for the victory should be documented for future reference.
That we had to put a lot of strategy, a lot of work. Let's document it. The last time in 2008, we didn't document it. And along the line, some of them, the ideas just got lost. So I was reminding my colleagues, the concerned executives, that let's document it. You see the zoning, because I've been complaining, if you remember, for the past two elections, Asante is too unwieldy. Let's break it up. You see, the breaking it up has yielded a better result. So let's see how we can strengthen the zoning to make sure that this thing comes to stay, so that our performance next time will even be better than what we've done.
The 11 constituencies in the Kumasi metropolis, which formed the Zone 2 of the NDC campaign, raked in over 190,000 votes. With the gains, the MP believes there is need for Ashanti region to be honored with development.
In fact, Kumasi Metro alone gave us almost 190,000 votes, which is more than, with a greater respect, some whole region. So when you don't have this at the back of your mind, and then you see it as a cake that you are going to share, the tendency to look at the seat and disadvantage Ashanti region is very, very high. So I was reminding us to know that we did well, and I'm reminding the Zone 2 to know that they did very well, because our numbers appreciated from the 2020, and for the first time we've crossed the 700,000 votes. It has never happened since 1992, and this is something that is commendable. And I added that to whom much is given, obviously much is expected.
The Zone 2 constituencies of the NDC held a party to celebrate the victory. Coordinator for the zone, Kojo Bonsu, expressed excitement at the performance of the party, emphasizing the need to sustain the gains.
We are prepared, because if we develop Ashanti, we get better votes. The little we did years back, that was what brought to bear. So it's an obvious thing. So please don't worry. We're going to do well. We're going to develop the region and get better votes.
For Joy News, Nana Yaojima, Kumasi.
This is still Joy News Prime. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with more, please. Do stay. Welcome back from the break now. Scores of caterers under the school feeding program today pitched camp at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, demanding payment of their 2 terms arrears for the 2023-2024 academic year. The caterers who came from across the country told Joy News all engagement with government is not yielding any results, and they are under pressure from their creditors. Prince Kwame Kudoga was with the caterers who marched to the Controlling Accountant General's office and filed this report.
The
The caterers, numbering over 100 who cook for basic schools across the country, gathered at the premises of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to demand payment of 2-term arrears owed them.
Without the money, we are not going because our creditors are chasing us, police are chasing us, we cannot even sleep our house because of the things the items that we borrow from the suppliers. So that's the reason why we're here. Can you imagine, the greater part of here are single parents and they use their own money. You see, the secondary school, government give them the food items, but the school feedings, they buy their own things. That is the pre-finance. And could you imagine a single parent has managed to cook for school children a whole year and we are not paying? Massa, it's not easy.
The group then marched to the office of the Controller and Accountant General, where the Controller General went into a closed-door meeting with the leadership of the group. After the meeting, Head of Public Relations at the Controller and Accountant General's office, Cephas Dosu, assured the money will be paid by Tuesday, the 31st of December 2024.
And we have assured them that even before Christmas, large chunk of the money has been disbursed to the Gender Ministry. The Controller has been in contact with them and has urged them to at least go ahead and disburse whatever amount has been given to them, awaiting the balances that would hit account. And I think based on that, the Controller also had a telephone conversation with the Deputy Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, who has also given assurance that they have started processes since last Friday, and they are sure that by tomorrow, the monies will hit the individual accounts of the service providers.
The leadership of the association after the meeting expressed confidence in the assurance by the Controller and Accountant General. They were, however, quick to add they will continue their protests until they receive their money. Nana Sechiamo is the president of the association.
After talking to us, he did a follow-up call to find out how far the ministry and the GIBS has reached, and I think they confirmed from the ministry, from the deputy minister, he confirmed that by the close of tomorrow we'll receive our money. So that has given us the assurance that work is still ongoing, and we have the trust in the controller that everything will be fine by tomorrow.
Meanwhile, some of the members say they have no faith in the promises.
It's not true. They've lied to us severally. This is the first time. We've been in this thing for almost 7 years. There's not even one day I'm going to buy willingly. They have to be like this. Talk and talk and talk and curse before.
And it's a proud moment for Ghanaian journalism. You know why? Because Joy News' Erastus Asaridonko has been honored with a prestigious Order of the Volta member by President Akufo-Addo for his fearless and impactful reporting. The accolade was presented to him at the 2024 National Honors and Awards Ceremony, where over 80 individuals and institutions were recognized for their outstanding contributions to national development. My colleague Jacqueline and Sumaya Boasa through the event and has come through this report.
Mr. Erastus Asaridonko.
The Order of the Volta, Ghana's second highest national honor, recognizes individuals who make exceptional contributions to the nation. The National Honors and Awards, instituted in 1960, the award celebrates innovation, excellence, and hard work across various disciplines. Joy News' Erastus Asaridonko now joins the ranks of distinguished Ghanaians celebrated for their service to the country. Erastus received the award for his relentless journalism that has exposed the harmful impact of illegal mining on Ghana's environment and public health. His investigative reports have sparked national conversations and put pressure on stakeholders to tackle this pressing issue. Speaking after the ceremony, Erastus expressed gratitude for the recognition and called for more collective action against illegal mining.
To gain recognition nationwide and get a national recognition for your works is exemplary. It's a nice feeling. It's motivating me a lot. But I think that this award would have been better if the issues I raised, which has won me a number of awards, was at least looked at by this administration. To me, that's the missing link. We still have all our major rivers and streams highly polluted, and this administration somehow did not attach so much importance to it, and that hurts. And that, I think, is the missing link with the kind of joy I would have expressed with this award. But the recognition alone speaks to me that at least the presidency knew about my works. They were monitoring. As to why they did not act on it, it's still a mystery.
All right, moving forward, do you think this will still motivate you to still continue doing the good works that you still do out there?
In fact, policing the environment is my job now, and I'm going to do it better than I have done it under this administration. And definitely we're going to go around again, and we're going to act and work in tandem with our colleagues to police the environment and bring the issues up for discussion. Because mind you, this is where we live, this is our space, and we all, the media fraternity, should act to protect the environment.
Right now, what's the next step? I mean, we are ending this year, moving on to the new year. What's the next step?
I think we have a new administration coming. We want to study what their policies are. And in fact, I'm expecting a lot from the incoming government. At least the first 100 days, I want to see what they will say and do concerning our polluted rivers and streams. We are thinking of going around again and getting a situational report on how Galamsey is affecting our environment still, despite our efforts. And so we're going to go that way. We also have the health effects of Galamsey, people who are getting sick, the numbers, the human touch to this whole experience.
Other awardees including Hawa Kumson, Joseph Osei Mensah Owusu, Osei Che Mensah also shared their excitement and what the recognition means to them.
Well, honestly, I wasn't expecting it, but out of the blue it came, and I was told that today was going to be the day. So you do your best for God and country, and if people think that you deserve to be recognized in the way that has been done, it's good to inspire other people who work with a clean conscience and a clean heart for the country. It's not about money, but it's about doing your best.
Recognized and are rewarded, do more.
Okay.
When you're recognized and rewarded, you do more. For me, it is the most important statement of recognition of the little things you'll be able to do for the country.
I'm really excited for this award. I never thought of it. I never dreamt of it. But by God's grace, today I'm here as one of the awardees.
Well, time for us to do showbiz, and Noella Karian Yale is here with all the J's. Hi, Noella, how are you?
Hi, Brace. I mean, it's the first time I'm seeing you this Christmas.
Exactly,
So
yes.
it's right for me to say Merry Christmas to you, right?
Oh, and many happy returns to you. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, so let's get into the stories for today. And we all thought that we're going to wrap up 2024 in a very peaceful, calm manner. But, you know, our folks in the entertainment industry had different plans for us. And there's one man who granted an interview. By one man, I mean Stone Boy. He granted an interview, and he was quite, bare, very blunt, very candid. In that interview, he spoke on a number of things, a number of stories that have controversial stories that have characterized his, his 2024. And so he thought it wise to, reply to some of these stories. And he spoke on Shatta Wale, he spoke on his former protege, Kelvin Boy. But particularly, I want us to zoom into Kelvin Boy's story because, he was asked if he would ever forgive Kelvin Boy. And he had something interesting. When we come back from listening to him, I'll tell you the backstory.
Who so obun kutojo abonte airport.
Me see you any Freddie Black, oh. Let dealing come away chireno. Asa move.
Oh, there be say.
Fred Papalogy. The Freddie Black. Ne be Salmon same way. No more then you say movement next. And I'm pono. Move line crossings. Some who line crossings. Be brave. Yeah. Antino. Awuchi.
Wait me their channel.
I'm crowded against ono.
So Oba unche.
Emfa.
Ultima unche.
Thank you. Say they am to me kumi ra me breath here no.
Yeah.
Someone was aki no.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ultima unche bi.
Menjini.
Don't forget it.
Oh, so what Timasia? What you say?
Matias.
My obi abe okay, but Freddie Black mami.
Okay.
Na Fred Papalogy mami. Obe bon sembebre my body ni enu o.
Yeah.
Fred Papalogy. Semuni Papalogy promoter. Na mo Freddie Black and so. Almost ko abe ma more references.
Okay.
Mo de be takasa side of assembly me.
Okay, so that was Stoneboy. Now, for those of you who do not know the backstory, quickly, once upon a time there existed Kelvin Boy, OV, and Black City, who was the road manager in the Burniton Music Group. But Black City had issues with Stoneboy, had to leave. And while he was leaving, people like Kelvin Boy left along with him. And when he left, he granted interviews where he said some unkind words about Stoneboy, to which he took offense. And so obviously, that is the backstory.
Okay.
And we hear that after several months, Kelvin Boy now approaches Stoneboy, trying to apologize to him and see whether or not he can take, him back.
Okay.
But for time, we cannot play that interview he had on Hits FM, which would have given this some context.
Yeah.
But Kelvin Boy has replied, following the interview, Stoneboy's interview, Kelvin Boy has replied, Stoneboy.
Hey.
And yes, so he says, by their deeds, we shall know their true color. That was the caption he gave, what he had to say in his notes on Twitter. Now let's zoom into exactly what he had to say in the notes. If we can have Kel 1.
Okay, maybe I can help you by reading it for you. It says, what actually do you want from Eniga? You have you have defamed me, turned the majority of Ghanaians against me because you are a saint and you can never do wrong.
Right.
I know the faith rise to the heights I for day, mainly because of your mafia tactics.
Right.
But grace they speak for me regardless.
Right.
It still hasn't been enough.
Yeah.
So what?
So basically, that's him blaming Stoneboy for his dwindling career at the moment. Then he goes on to say something else in another tweet. I think the Kel 2. Right. He says, I've been shook since I saw the interview. Like how? The lies and defamation have become a bit much. What could ever give you the impression, say, I try and you? Everything at all, I go fit J my eye like I have for years. But this, no. D Black and Papalogy, haven't seen D Black in 5 years or more. You know the things Logie tell me about you 2 years ago. Me and them no be friends. So basically, that's what he had to say. And then Samini, who is like the grandfather when it comes to these two gentlemen, steps in and tries to, says that he would patch them up. Says order will be restored at home. Second generation will have to read the history a bit further to understand. But on the grand scheme of things, we choose to let whatever has been against us be for us henceforth. Humility alone cannot do it without patience. Allow the offender to heal and be careful not to allow entitlement to replace loyalty. Kelvin Boy, Stoneboy. So that's it for the stories we have for today.
Well, quite interesting. Let's see how this ends. But that was Noella Karinyale with the entertainment news on the Joy News Prime. There's more on myjoyonline.com. Up next is Prime Business with Pius Kojo Baka. You know what? Do enjoy the rest of the evening. And let's meet on PM Express at 9.